And really, if the Most High did away with Israel, that would make him unmerciful.
Yeah.
So the Most High about mercy.
Right.
How the Most High gonna tell us to be merciful, but he don't have no mercy? That would make him a hypocrite. Okay? See, these guys, they don't think about what they're saying, man. They're just saying things. They're saying bare things.
Even 2/3 are gonna get mercy.
So even the 2/3 are gonna get mercy, man. You know, that's why if the Most High cast you to hell and made you burn for eternity, where's the mercy in it? The only nation that's not getting mercy is you devils, man. You're gonna get wiped out. According to Obadiah, man.
That's right.
Even the other nations, the heathens are gonna get mercy, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna liberate them after 1,000 years. They're gonna get the inheritance, but it's still gonna be tributary. Okay? Alright? But this is on. Let me get Psalms 107. I'm just going in the spirit, man. So it says verse 9, for he satisfieth the longing soul and filleth the hungry soul with goodness. Such as sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, being bound in affliction and iron, because they rebelled against the words of the Most High and condemned the counsel of the Most High. Therefore he brought down their hearts with labor. They fell down and there was none to help. Then they cried, so they broke the covenant.
That's in ancient Egypt,
Right. This is, yeah, even in Judges.
But you know, though, brother, I mean, if you're gonna speak, brother, you gotta read it too. You know, because all I'm gonna be doing, all the boss gonna be doing, is just standing there, looking like a lost moose in the field. You know.
So yeah, so.
Yeah, I have to say that, man. It's the real, man.
Yeah, you jumped to rest. Though. Psalms 107.
That one does yeah, the solitary spirit, man.
That's enough.
Brother's like a jaguar, man, always on his own. So that solitary spirit.
Yeah.
After trying to forget, he's already himself, you know, cut everybody out.
Yeah, he's an orator.
You gotta remind him all the time, you know, here and there, man.
Yeah, so it's 107, right?
Yeah. 107 verse verse 10.
It says. Alright, so you gotta have fun with this thing sometimes as well, man. You can't be too serious, man. Yeah, this is Psalms 107 verse 10. Such as sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, being bound in affliction and iron.
Exactly, so that's slavery. Bound in affliction and iron, man. Captivity. The shadow of death.
Oh yeah, I gotta.
That's where we at. We're not gonna get to the point, but we're just going in the spirit right now. We're just going in through scriptures, and the spirit is making scriptures come to the head and everything like that.
Let's give me for 1 minute real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 28. I think you know where I'm going to. It says, verse.
This truth is beautiful, man. It's like a beautiful story, man. It's like a real, original, romantic movie story, man. That's what this truth really is, man. This is where all these movies, they get all their themes from. They get it from the Bible, man. The romantic novel between Israel and the Most High, man.
Right here.
You know how we the Most High pretty much raped us as a nation. He says, "You are gonna be mine." He seized us as a people in the beginning with Abraham. We didn't have a choice. We didn't turn around and say, "No, I don't want to serve you. I'm out here, man." The Most High said, "Listen, you're mine. This is the covenant I'm establishing you. You're gonna keep these laws. Break them, and you're out here. Keep these laws, blessings come upon you." He raped us as a nation. He seized us. And then he beautified us, man. We became a great nation. Okay, we conquered the Hamites. We fought them up. But we even disobeyed that. The Most High told us to wipe them out, but we still kept them. but they were a snare unto us. But we kept breaking the law. I'm reading it right now. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it says, and the heavens that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. This is Deuteronomy chapter 20.
Right. That shows you. You see that?
Right next to Psalm.
That's captivity. Well,
We're back to Psalms 107. Verse,
this is why we need to enslave the other nations.
verse 11. Matter of fact, I saw verse 10 again. It says, such as sit in darkness and in the shadow of death,
And the shadow of death, man.
being bound in afflictions and iron, because they rebelled against the word of Yahweh
Because they rebelled against the word of Yahweh.
and contemned the counsel of the Most High.
Because you condemn the prophets, man. That's where the counsel of the Most High comes from. So time and time again, we kept doing this. So we don't know.
Therefore he brought down their heart with labor,
Brought down their heart with labor. Brought down our minds with labor.
and they fell down, and there was none to help.
Yeah, we fell down to hell, a state of severe degradation. That's what I explained to the Muslims. When I explained to the Muslims, listen, I said there's no actual place called hell. Hell and heaven is played out on earth. And they were trying to get their head around that. And they say, listen, and they even understood that. According to Islam, hell is at a severe and degraded state.
But you know, though, they
Hades.
also believe too, I don't put it's locked in. They also, the Muslims see, you have to understand about the Muslims. Their doctrine is so way out there that you can't even make sense of it, because they believe that there's many dimensions of heaven and there's different dimensions of hell.
We're not even going to get into that.
That's what I'm saying. It's way out there, man.
Next phenomenal. But anyway, I was breaking it down to them that, listen, the current state that we're in as a people, that's hell, man. We were brought down. Just tell you that. Go ahead, man.
It says, therefore he brought down their heart with labor, and they fell down, and there was none to help. Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble,
Go ahead.
and he saved them out of their distress.
Go ahead.
And it says, he brought them out of darkness and the shadow of death, and break their bands in sunder.
And you're hearing the beauty behind all this, man.
That's what's going to
The
happen.
Most High rescued us because we turned unto our Savior and we asked for salvation, and the Most High brought us out of that. Brought us out of that condition, man. He delivered us, man. See, that's where you get the story about, you know what I'm saying, the handsome knight in shining armor, he saved the damsel in distress. We represent that damsel, man. The wise virgins. And then the husband comes.
Accent.
What's this? This is about the Israelites. The Israelites. The true, real Jews, you know what I'm saying? Which is us, you know. Us so-called blacks and Latinos and Hispanics. We were the real Israelites. Because right now, everybody is underneath color, defining identity, which is not. That's not how people did it in the ancient world. You're black, you're white, you know what I'm saying, you're yellow. That's not how nations categorized themselves in the ancient world. That the Arabs, they're Ishmaelites, the East Indians, they're Elamites. The Ethiopians are Cushites. Okay? And we are the Israelites. We're not Africans, man. But then you got the real Africans, like the real Sudanese, the Ethiopians, they're really Hamites, man. Those are the real Africans, you can see. But the people of West Africa, like the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, the Bantus, those are Israelites. We're not related to the people of Sudan.
And to also be the so-called African Americans, the Jamaican people, the Asian.
Yeah, we're Israelites. We're the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Bible. Okay, what are you like Muslim or okay? So you're familiar with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yes. That the Most High made a promise to them and said, listen, I'm gonna multiply your seed and they're gonna inherit that land, which is the land of Israel. And so we're those people. But according to Islam, they try to say that we broke the covenant. So therefore, right, so we broke the covenant. But what my whole thing, because I was speaking to a Muslim yesterday, but they said that the Most High blessed Ishmael. And I said, yeah, it's true. The Most High blessed them with 12 sons. And it said that they will be 12 kings. So I'm not knocking that. But the Most High didn't make his promise to Ishmael. He made a promise to Abraham. So now if the Most High did away with Israel, how would he then fulfill that promise? That means the Most High knew right from the beginning that we wouldn't be able to keep that covenant. Because the Most High knows the end right from the beginning.
I got something for you.
Right, go on.
This is Romans 11 verse 1. I say then that the Most High cast away his people. The Most High forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. For the Most High have not cast away his people, which he foreknew.
So that cuts that whole, the Most High cast away his people. Yeah, the Most High cast away his people many a time. You can read about history in the Torah. We always sinned against our God. We always broke the covenant. But the Most High always re-established that agreement. Because of the oath he made to our ancestors. He would always have to honor that oath. Because the Most High can't sin by himself.
No, we agree.
That's the guy that's speaking there. That's the guy that's speaking.
From the Quran, if you read the Quran,
Look to the man that's speaking.
we believe, our belief is that
He's going to ask you a question.
they left, right? They, in a sense, betrayed the covenant, like you said.
Yeah,
You said that it was meant to be. That's the difference. So you guys are obviously Jews.
The word Jew is short for Judah.
What type of? What type?
Do you mean what tribe is?
You know there's Orthodox, for example.
No. It's lineage. It's bloodline. This is a bloodline. Our descendants is from these.
Yeah, of course.
Judah taught the 12 sons of Israel, of a man called Jacob. We're the bloodline descendants, like the Arabs. They're the bloodline descendants of Ishmael, and who was the son of Abraham. So the Arabs are Hebrews. They originally spoke Hebrew. Because Abraham was a Hebrew.
Yeah, that's why I always say, as Arabs, how can Arabs be called, for example, anti-Semitic when, in a sense, we are Semites?
Yeah, you're Shemite. Exactly. Right.
He's absolutely
Right. We're Shemites, man. So anti-Semitic
Makes no sense.
that means you're against Islam because you're Shemite. You're Shemitic. Understand? We're Shemitic.
I got something.
That's one of Esau's weapons of twisting words, man.
Yeah, this is Genesis 17, verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty, the Most High, walk before me.
So basically, he said, I am Allah. Because the word Allah is an ancient Hebrew word which just means God. And so Allah was people always said Allah.
I'll ask you a question. Eli is referring to
Eli means my God. So when the Lord was on the scene, when he was crucified on that cross.
Wait, because we're going to get to.
Because we deal with order here, so we have to deal with things in order. So the thing about it is right, to see a lot of Muslims, they talk about how the Lord, when he was on the cross, he quoted the term Allah, Eli. The term Eli is a Hebrew term, which really what he was saying is Alaya, which means my God. Okay, Allah means God, but the end makes it mine.
Possessive.
Possessive. So that's what he meant.
Is there, I'm not too familiar with the Bible, but I've heard that there's a verse from Jesus and it's on the cross.
But you know what though, I don't want to deal with the Lord right now, but I want to deal with this what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, no.
And then we'll deal with that point. But he's speaking.
Yeah, no, but I just want to clarify this point. It says that when he was on the cross, he says, Lord, why have you forsaken me?
Well, why have you forsaken me?
Yeah. You're alright with that?
Yeah. Because so break it up.
Yeah, the reason why that happened because basically the Lord himself, Yahweh Shai.
Oh yeah, I know why. This came to my head. Because the Most High, his eyes was right then. The sins of our nation came upon him because he was that sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're aware he died for the sins of his people. When he came, he was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, and he was according to the prophecies written about him, the law and the prophets, he would die for these people.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. So all the sins of our people came upon him at that point.
Yeah.
And that's when the Most High, his eyes are too righteous to behold iniquity. So let me get it right now. Please hold the horses, everyone's holding horses. You know what I'm saying? Where's Habakkuk? I'm trying to find Habakkuk. Here it is. There's Habakkuk verse 1, chapter 1, verse
I can read it if you want me to.
yeah, go on. Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 13.
Okay, Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 13.
Let's start from verse 12.
Okay, verse 12. Thou art not from everlasting, O Yahweh, my power. Mine holy one, you shall not die, O Lord. Thou hast ordained them for judgment.
The Most High ordained us for judgment, bro.
And O mighty power, thou hast established them for correction.
We've established, the Most High established us for correction, bro.
Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil.
The Most High's eyes are too pure to behold evil. So all the sins of our people came upon us at that point. And that's why he said, why have you departed from me? Because the Most High turned his face away from you. Because all that evil, all them sins was on him at that point. And the Most High's eyes are too pure to behold iniquity. And from that point, the Most High departed from you.
And his begotten son at that too. And his begotten son at that as well.
Right. Meaning his first creation. So you can understand. That's why we say he's the son of the Most High. The Most High, he was the first creation.
Would you say that, for example, came to this earth, Jesus' invitation was to come here and die for our sins?
For the sin, because what is sin? Sin is a...
It's about that time. I mean, you can continue to talk to
let
me.
me continue. Sin.
But yeah, all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah. Yeah, we're closing out. Brothers, you stay firm, you stay strong.
But what is a sin?